What's up, Clever Masterminds? Cleverboy86 here, and today I'm going to be continuing my Walking Dead Season 6 reviews. I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 9, titled No Way Out. Now, this episode is my favorite episode of the series. I actually just went back and rewatched it last night. And it was great to rewatch this episode because it had been a pretty long time since I'd seen it. And it was great to watch it again. Anyways, so this episode starts off with Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha. And at the end of episode 8, they ran into this group of saviors. And Daryl blows them up with a bazooka. And that was just such an amazing scene. Anyway, so Daryl blows up the group of saviors, and that was just such a badass scene. Meanwhile, Rick, Carl, Michonne, Jesse, Ron, Sam, and Father Gabriel are covered in walker guts, and they're walking through the herd of zombies, and they're basically trying to get to the armory, but Rick realizes that's not going to work. And he tells them that they have to get their vehicles back at the quarry and they have to lead the walkers away. And pretty soon after, all hell breaks loose. So basically Sam gets scared and he doesn't want to keep walking. And then he gets eaten by walkers. And then Jessie screams. And then she gets attacked by walkers. And Rick has these flashbacks of Jesse, and Jesse was holding onto Carl's hand, and Carl calls out to Rick, and Rick has to cut off Jesse's hand with the axe to save Carl. And then Ron aims his gun at Rick, and he's about to shoot Rick, but Michonne stabs him with her katana, and Ron's gun goes off, and it hits Carl in the eye. And I just loved how they did that scene. Like, Carl looks up at Rick, and he's like, "Dad?" And there's like this big gaping hole where his eye used to be. And then he just falls to the ground. And I just loved that scene. That whole scene was just so dark, and it was just such a well done scene. And for me, it's one of the best scenes in all of The Walking Dead. So Rick picks up Carl and brings him to the infirmary. And, I forgot to mention, Denise was taken hostage by Owen, who was the wolf that Morgan was keeping in Alexandria. So Denise and Owen try to make a run for it, but Owen gets bit on the arm trying to save Denise from a walker. And Denise tells him that she can save his life, but they have to get back to the infirmary. And Carol sees Denise with Owen, and she shoots Owen, and he dies. Denise makes it back to the infirmary, and then Rick and Michonne arrive with Carl, and Rick just goes out into the herd of walkers with his axe, and he just starts killing walkers left and right, and basically takes on the entire herd, and he's just taking out all of his anger on these walkers. And then Michonne goes out with her katana and starts killing walkers, and pretty soon all the survivors are out there, and they're all fighting the walkers together. And it's not just the survivors, but the Alexandrians are out there as well, and they're all killing walkers together, and even Eugene's out there, which was pretty cool to see. So Glenn and Enid are in Alexandria, and they're trying to save Maggie, who's on top of this lookout post, and Glenn starts shooting walkers, and he's trying to draw them away from the lookout post. And he's shooting walkers, but he gets swarmed, and it looks like he's about to die, but Abraham and Sasha show up, and they shoot all of these walkers with machine guns. So that was a really great scene. And then Daryl blows up the lake with the bazooka, and he basically tries to draw all of the walkers to the lake. But anyways, that was another great scene. But anyways, everyone's out there fighting the walkers, and there's this really cool montage of everyone killing walkers, and ironically, it's one of the most beautiful scenes in all of The Walking Dead. But yeah, that was just such a great scene, and it's great to see everyone come together. The survivors and the Alexandrians. It was great to see them all come together to take on this herd of walkers, and I loved it. Anyways, so the next morning, Rick talks to Carl, who's unconscious in the infirmary, and Rick admits to Carl that he was wrong about the Alexandrians, and he tells Carl that he saw what they could do. And it was a really emotional, touching scene, and Rick tells Carl that he wants to show him the new world. And it was a really, really great speech, and I thought Andrew Lincoln gave an amazing performance. And then the episode ends with Carl touching Rick's hand, and I thought that was a great way of showing the audience that Carl was alive. But anyways, this episode was amazing in every way, and I just loved this episode. Like the scene where Jesse, Sam, and Ron die, and Carl gets his eye shot out. That whole scene was just amazing, and there were just so many great parts in this episode. Daryl blowing up the Saviors at the beginning, the whole group fighting the walkers. It was just such an amazing episode, and I'm going to give this episode a perfect 10 out of 10. This episode for me was the best episode of the entire series, and so anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for my review of The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 10, titled The Next World. That will be coming in a bit, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one. Alright, bye guys.